guys, what's up? Back here with another video supported by Qasxz. He's here as well. So, yeah, we're gonna be talking about what went over in Minecon.
So yeah, during Minecon Live, I only watched part of it, and Logan watched you've watched the entire thing, right? Pre-show, full show.
Yeah, and I watched like some
Uh,
of the post-show, but it was mostly just Q&A, so I kind of just didn't
yeah,
care.
post shows are usually not that interesting. They're a bit slower.
Mhm.
So anyway, first of all, what is your overall impression? Just give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, I guess.
Well, yeah, I honestly liked it. Um, you
Yeah.
know, yeah. So.
Yeah, me too. From what I
For the
saw,
most part, yeah.
I mean, a lot of it was aimed at people a bit younger than we are, but I can still appreciate like the shenanigans they're having. It's just in good fun, and
Yeah.
it's just fun to watch as well, even though it's sometimes a bit too silly.
Yeah.
So anyway, in terms of announcements, I haven't watched everything, and I got some information from you about the Nether update.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about the biome votes first.
Which I was kind of upset about, but you know.
Yeah, so for everyone that doesn't know, this year at Minecon they were gonna do a vote. The public was gonna vote which biome was gonna be updated first. They're all gonna get updated. All the ones I'm about to list, which is the Badlands or Mesa biome, the Swamp, and the Mountain biome. So you wanted the Swamp biome to win the vote, right?
Yeah. I wanted the swamp. I
So what
mainly
about
liked it.
Swamp that really appealed to you then?
Well, I honestly liked the boat chests. I know you were kind of not really for that, but I thought it would help a lot, especially going fishing and whatnot. You know, you get whatever you need for whatever you catch while fishing. You know, assuming that you aren't just using an AFK fish farm. So it's mainly built for like, at least I feel, built for pregame, but it's also, I felt like it could also be used for, especially when you apply it to an SMP, if we're traveling somewhere like, through the Nether hub, you can put a chest in your boat to go on the ice, and then go to where you want to go. So I feel like that's definitely somewhat helpful.
Yeah, definitely, and you'll obviously also be able to load it up with shulker boxes in the late
Yeah.
game as well. So what you're
Yeah.
saying about the Nether hub,
Yeah.
that's going to be a ton of transport just in one boat.
Yeah.
But the reason I am not really a fan of it is because it doesn't really feel like a swamp update. I mean, I guess you'll be able to find them randomly, is what I'm guessing. I don't know if they've confirmed that, but
What's that? The frogs?
no, like
Or
the minecart boat or the chest boats.
No,
I'm guessing
I'm pretty sure you just
like
craft them.
from the video it looked like they're gonna be randomly generated as
Oh,
like
really?
loot chests.
Oh, okay.
Is what I'm guessing. Because otherwise, why would it even be part of the swamp update?
Mhm.
Is what I'm guessing anyway.
Yeah. Well, I guess just
Before doing
because
that,
it
can we
had something to
quickly
do with.
sleep, by the way?
Sure. What my guess is that it had something just primarily to do with water, so they thought they could add in a mechanic, and that was one of my biggest draws to the idea of a swamp update is the fact that as far as helpful content goes, um, I thought that besides adding new things that kind of have their own thing, I felt like uh, chests and boats was content that is helpful.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, but I think, especially with the boat chest, that the helpfulness seems really high, but in reality, it's just another thing to put a chest in. And
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we've already got minecart chests, and what else did we have? We have donkeys as well, and whoever
And
uses
llamas.
a donkey or a minecart chest, or a llama, they also carry chests. And honestly, who uses those? Which is why I think that
Mhm.
I mean, they seem kind of interesting at first, but if you really think about it, I think they're not gonna be too useful in the
Yeah.
long term. Well, my personal preference was the mountain biome, which also won the vote, by the way, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Um, the reason I like the mountain biome, um, well, first of all, the terrain generation update they're gonna do to it
Yeah.
sounds really, really cool.
Yeah. That
Uh,
does sound.
I mean, I'm really a big sucker for large mountains. I've got my own base here in the mountain biome, which you saw in your Nether episode as well.
Yeah.
Um, so everyone go check that out. Our Nether episode, we checked out each other's bases.
Yeah.
Um, but other than that, I mean, the snowier snow. At first, it seems kind of annoying, right?
Yeah.
But if you really think about it, it's just another block with a very unique mechanic, which is
Mm.
always really nice
Yeah.
when you're trying to build specific farms.
Mhm.
So I don't know how and where it's gonna be useful, but
Mhm.
that's know that mobs, or at least players, I'm assuming mobs as well,
Mhm.
will be able to drop down into and get stuck in. That just seems really, really useful. I don't know, maybe you can make like a regular old uh, mob grinder, uh, like the standard ones for regular mobs. And instead of having water streams, you could have like snow blocks, like the snowier snow blocks uh, in the floor, and they'll walk on it sooner than whatever other design you might have. I
Yeah.
don't know, it just seems like whatever that mechanic is, it's gonna be really interesting to play with,
Yeah.
especially if you're a bit more technical about what you're doing in your worlds.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a funny thing you bring up block mechanics because um, as far as the new honey block that's coming out, you know,
Right, I don't know too
it's like,
much about that to be honest.
basically it's like a reverse slime block, um, in the sense that um, you can you can get like you can it kind of has the same, I guess, feel to it, but um, instead of making it bounce higher when you jump on it, uh, you kind of get like stuck to it, and um,
So you can't really jump from it.
yeah, you can only
Well,
jump. I think it's
typical.
like half a block or something like that. So you can't even jump over a full block with it.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool to be honest.
yeah,
I like
and
that.
furthermore, it kind of acts as like if you have a pillar of it, it'll act as like a ladder. Um, I think
So you can
only
climb
like
up the
going
side
down.
of it.
I don't know if you can climb up it, but what they did preview is that you can slide down it safely.
Ah.
So that might be helpful for certain things. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, I guess if it affects mobs as well, if you have like a one by one hole with
mhm,
honey on all sides of it,
yeah,
I
and,
mean you could technically still fall through the center of it, like exactly through the center, but
yeah,
chances are probably very slim that you won't touch the side then.
mhm,
So that sounds actually quite cool.
yeah, and
Again,
I know it
I'm always
has,
really sucker for new mechanics like that.
yeah,
So
and I know it has the same mechanic when it comes to pistons as slime blocks. So
that's good. That's good.
yeah,
Do they? I mean, I'm guessing they attach to slime blocks as well, but like, um, how do? I mean, you've probably not played around with them, but like, how do the limits work? And
as far as the honey, I'm pretty sure they didn't really go too much in depth with it as far as um, like um,
what the specific
yeah,
mechanics
what
are.
the specifics are, but
I mean, we'll have to wait for the SciCraft guys to play
yeah,
around with them, I guess.
yeah, but I would imagine that it would be something similar to slime because it even has the same sound effects when like jumping on it or walking on it. So I think it's gonna be something that's
Yeah,
kind
I'd
of
assume.
like a negative slime block or something like that. And then we also have for redstoning the new target block. which
Okay.
which looks interesting. Um,
What does it do?
so it's well, it is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a block that's has a target on it, and where you are, depending on how close you hit to the bullseye with, a bow or a
With the bow.
crossbow. Um, yeah, either of those will work. Depending on how close you hit that, will change on
The
um,
signal strength,
the
I guess
signal
then.
strength of the redstone. Yeah. Um,
Okay, so it's like a more complex wooden button.
yeah, pretty much. So instead of just one solid signal, like you can hit near the outside for a weaker signal, and then if you hit a bullseye, you get a stronger signal. Um, as far as blocks though, um, I think that was mainly it as far as new blocks that were added in. Um,
Hmm.
I think what are going to be added in snapshots before the whole update is released, just kind of, throw them in there. Um,
Yeah, I can't wait to play around with the snapshots myself.
yeah,
Obviously, these features aren't in the snapshots yet,
yeah,
but I'd love to play around with those as
hmm,
they come out.
yeah,
So we'll see if we can maybe bring that to the then SMP as well.
yeah.
Uh,
And I'm really liking the whole, because they touched on a bit more about what bees do and how bees can be helpful for, say, farms. And
mhm,
basically, what was showcased in there is that you can have flowers next to your farms, make like a greenhouse type thing. And
mhm.
as the bees pick up pollen, they can drop some of it onto your crops, and it acts as like bone meal. Um,
All right,
so I
that
thought that
makes,
was interesting.
I mean, kind of sense. It doesn't make too much sense, but I guess it's close enough.
Yeah,
Uh,
but it's something that could be used like that may make bees a bit more useful um, than just buzzing around or harvesting honey, and you know
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so we'll see where that goes.
And this is all for 1.15, right? Or did
Yeah,
they say some of this was? So 1.15 is actually shaping up to be
an interesting.
quite the
Yeah,
update then.
yeah,
Sounds pretty good to be honest, in
yeah, it
my
does.
opinion anyway.
Yeah,
And there was also the bit about the Nether.
yeah,
I haven't heard much about it, but I did hear through Discord
hmm,
uh, that they were gonna add Nether biomes,
yeah.
which is something that I've been wanting for ages. I mean, the Nether is just so bland; it's not even funny anymore. Um, so Nether biomes, there were three. You said right? They were gonna do
Yeah, yeah.
the
Basically,
Soul
the
Sand
yeah,
Valley.
yes, Soul Sand Valley, and then two different types of netherwort forests. Um, those are also
Netherward
including,
Forest. That's
yeah,
cool.
that's also including new blocks. The best way, I guess, the thing that they kind of somewhat
Are they gonna
resemble,
generate netherward blocks like the
yeah,
actual netherward blocks?
yeah,
Damn. People
and
always forget those are in the game.
yeah, and those and blue variants of them, but I'm not sure if those might have any effect as far as um, if it'll make like a different type of nether wart that may be used for different types of potions, possibly. Um,
Hmm.
because I always knew that the nether wart is used in most crafting recipes, so I don't know if this will make some like blue nether wart or if it'll just drop something completely different.
Hmm.
But they seem to not actually be grown by nether warts, of course, but they the trees themselves seems to be grown similar to um,
Like normal trees then, or
no, actually, mushrooms on mycelium.
right? Fair enough
So
then.
the trees kind of look a little bit like that. Um, they obviously look a bit different, but other than that, they kind of have that type of property that they grow from like a mushroom. So,
Hmm.
um, I'm not sure exactly where we're going to find those mushrooms, but
I'd
you know,
assume in those biomes, right?
yeah, yeah, but I don't know if you'd be able to like find them otherwhere, or if you can make like a farm out of a regular nether
Hmm.
rack or something like that.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to explore outwards then.
Hmm.
once we update.
Yeah.
Um,
And also, what I'm really liking is the how Soul Sand will be. Soul Sand will now have blue fire, so even if you bring Soul Sand to like um, back to the overworld or whatever, and light fire on top of it, it'll be blue fire.
yeah, that's really cool. Will the fire ever extinguish, or is it eternal fire like Netherrack?
That's a good question. They did not really elaborate on that.
I mean, I'm assuming it's eternal fire. They have to.
Yeah,
Um, it'd be such a bummer if the blue fire was only temporary.
yeah.
Uh,
I would imagine it would though, just because Soul Sand Valleys are supposed to naturally generate with fire on top of them, so I wouldn't see why they would naturally generate if they're just gonna, you know, dissipate. But
oh, right, fair enough then. Yeah. Well, that almost confirms it then, I guess.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see.
Uh, so yeah, what's your favorite feature that was, um, well, let's just say first announced today then.
Well, as far as what was first announced, I was really liking the zombie pigmen.
I haven't seen those yet, but I'll try to put a picture on the screen for my viewers.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, basically, uh, there's just gonna be so many different things you can do with them, in the sense that um, you'll be able to, uh, gold armor will be useful now. In the sense that actually gold in general will be a bit more useful than what it used to be. Because well, first and foremost, you need gold armor to be able to, not be seen as a threat by these zombie pigmen. So now they're only non-aggressive if um, you're wearing gold armor. But they'll attack you, I guess, if you're not wearing gold armor, and also if you open chests that are near them, which is kind of interesting, especially the fact that there isn't really too many chests that spawn in the regular, um, in the regular Nether itself. I don't know if that might mean that there might be more chests that just spawn naturally in the Nether, or
Yeah, it
if
sounds
that means
almost like
that,
they're gonna add dungeons maybe.
yeah, or if maybe there'll be like pigmen that spawn in Nether fortresses, because I know pigmen, now they'll spawn with not only a sword, but some will spawn with crossbows, and they'll actively hunt.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, they'll actively hunt wither skeletons, and I'm not sure
Oh,
about
that's cool
blazes,
actually.
but yeah. So possible automated farm, maybe. The pigmen will also hunt these things called pigment beasts, which kind of look like something out of a mod pack. Um,
Mhm.
and
I mean, like pillager beasts also do, but
yeah, it's true.
I guess they'll look different, or are they like a
Oh,
tank-like mob like the pillager beast is?
they look like, um, they look like, um, I think they're maybe a block to a block and a half tall, and then maybe like 2 blocks wide. They're not
Mhm.
really, or long, 1 block wide, but
I mean,
they're
screenshots
not
will
big.
be
Yeah,
on the video, of course.
yeah, but they're not like huge. So, and from what I understand, they're not really too hard to kill, but they will be hostile. They're completely hostile. So, um,
Mhm.
but they'll
Sounds
actually drop a,
interesting with all these new hostile mobs.
yeah, but they'll
What do they
actually
drop?
drop, yeah, they drop meat that you can eat. So,
A new kind of meat, or
I'm not sure. I think so. Um, but we'll have to find that out. And
because if they're no longer zombie pigman or zombie whatever, it would not make sense to make them drop uh, rotten flesh anymore.
yeah, that's true.
My favorite new announced thing. Um, I mean, I haven't watched the entire thing yet, of
Yeah.
course. So I guess my favorite new thing would be those honey blocks.
Mhm.
Um, from what you've told me about them,
Yeah.
they're gonna be really useful. Uh,
Especially map
so
making.
especially map making, but especially in mob traps, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
And can we sleep again? real quick.
Sure. Yeah, that's actually a really good point that you bring that up. You know, using at the bottom of mob, you know, because I'm assuming that the honey will apply to mobs as well. Might be able to see, um,
Hmm.
you know, where, you know, that way, like, you could just put them into a one block deep pit and just with honey on the bottom, and they can't like jump over it.
Hmm.
So it'd be interesting to see where that
Yeah, or like
goes.
for a guardian farm where you usually have water at the bottom, you could put honey blocks at the bottom instead,
Maybe it'll just
and
make them stick as opposed to like,
they'll
yeah.
stick, and then eventually, I think they suffocate. I'm not quite sure,
I was,
but they'll stick, so you don't have to deal with the water running everywhere. So
mhm,
your redstone is gonna be a
happy.
lot, a lot happier. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see how these are worked into the game as far
Hmm.
as, you know, like you said, um, mob traps and whatnot. We could see where this will go.
Yeah. So favorite thing discussed that was um, not necessarily a new thing, but just your favorite thing that you've seen today.
Honestly, I was really excited about, you know, I didn't really have an opinion on it. I didn't really do any research on it beforehand, but after seeing a cinematic clip as well as gameplay of Minecraft Dungeons, I'm really excited to see um, where that'll go. It looks like a very interesting game.
Yeah. True.
You know, I don't know if it might be something that's, um, you know, because we don't have a price tag on it yet. Um, I did see
Yeah.
that. I don't know if it's gonna be like a standalone game or if it's gonna be something that's gonna be partnered with the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, or if, you know, if
It
it'll
looks
link
like a
up.
standalone thing, to be
Yeah.
honest. But as you're saying, we're not quite sure at this time.
Mhm.
Uh, so they could do anything. They could throw us for a loop.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that did look cool.
Yeah.
Uh, may play it on the channel if it's decently priced. If it's too expensive, then yeah, I might skip it. It
Yeah.
looks one of those games. I don't know. The gameplay looks fairly generic, I think.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I've never played it, but it looks like a kind of Diablo clone. Or,
Yeah.
as I was saying earlier to you before we were recording, it also kind of reminds me of the Lego games
Yeah.
uh, in a weird way. Obviously, this game has a lot more action.
Yeah.
It's more focused on combat, while the
And
Lego
it's
games are
yeah.
more focused on puzzle games or
Yeah.
puzzle elements,
Yeah. And it's more
exploration.
yeah. It's more as far as you know, because you're saying like camera angle mainly, right? Looked
Yeah, in
similar
terms of
to.
camera angle, in terms of like controls, it looks similar as well.
Mhm.
Like in the Lego games, you usually just spam buttons until you can interact with something, or you
Yeah.
hit something and it gives you
Yeah.
your money.
And I also said I kind of had like a, although I don't really necessarily play it, it did seem a little League of Legends-esque in the sense of its complexity. Um, you know, because it looked like, you know, especially with the gameplay, it looked like there was a lot going around. But I feel like,
Hmm.
you know, through the beginning of it, and you know, as you warm up to it, you might start understanding what everything does, where everything goes. So, what I also really liked is, um, the one thing they said was that the maps for these are randomly generated, and
Oh, I missed that part. That's
yeah,
actually really good.
yeah. So it'll be something
That's
new every
almost
single
a
time.
must, to be honest.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, I'm assuming they'll have kind of a campaign mode or like a
Yeah,
story mode, kind of like that. I'm
yeah,
hoping at least.
yeah. They did hint
That's
at
really
something
good
with
for replayability if they're gonna have something um,
yeah,
where it's different every time.
yeah.
I
They
mean
hinted
that's
at.
obviously. I'm sorry for interrupting you
Sorry.
each time.
Sorry.
um, that's kind of where Minecraft got its charm in the first place. I mean, at first it was just a blocky game, but as soon as we got the random maps, people really started to get interested in it.
Yeah,
Which is obviously years ago by now, but I think that's like one of the big selling points of Minecraft as a whole, which is obviously why they're putting it
yeah,
in
yeah.
this
Because it's
thing right
something
now.
new every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the way.
Alright, good.
I'm on the way.
Guy's on his way.
And what I do like is how, because you were saying something about there being a campaign.
I'm hoping at least.
Yeah,
I
they
haven't heard about it yet. I'm assuming it's gonna
yeah
have a campaign though.
they were kind of hinting at something. Did you see the cinematic they had before they had the gameplay?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I feel like that little cinematic there, they kind of did some explaining that I feel like um, there might be something there that would hint at like a campaign or something like that. Um,
Yeah.
so that's definitely looking like a lot of fun. But as far as since of course there was not one but two games that were announced, what was your thoughts on Minecraft Earth?
Minecraft Earth. Um, looks promising,
Mm,
but so did Pokemon Go.
that's true.
And uh, I don't know how much I need to elaborate on that, but Pokemon Go, we all know the concept is really good. But as soon as it launched, it had all the connection issues, so it was basically unplayable for the first 2 months.
Hmm.
And then even once those were fixed, uh, it was just, I mean, even to this day, it's just lacking in features.
Hmm.
Um, so
Yeah.
for Minecraft Earth, uh, my main concern is, uh, well, Mojang is already owned by Microsoft, so I'm not really too worried about not having enough server capacity. I'm sure
Hmm.
they've seen Pokemon Go and how that went,
Hmm.
so I'm assuming they've got that fixed.
And how many other augmented reality games have come before that? I know there was a Walking Dead version of that. I know there was a Harry Potter version of that. I know there was a Star Wars version of that. They've got like a whole bunch of different ones that they can look at, kind of see what the mistakes were of those, and kind of fix those in Minecraft
Mhm.
Earth. But one of the biggest selling points for me is the fact that it isn't so much about finding something and then doing something. You go around and you collect stuff, and you can bring it to like one of those pad ports or whatever, and you can build your own thing, which gives it like the Minecrafty effect, I guess. Um,
Yeah,
that
that's a really
yeah,
good point.
that and
Uh,
raids and whatnot is um, kind of alludes to some of the like I think they called it raids, right? They were like you can team up with a
I don't
couple of
know.
people, and then um, you go
Yeah, where
through
they found
certain
the puzzly
things.
area, right?
Yeah, the puzzle um, thing with the flowers and whatnot. Now I don't know how, because I don't know how randomly generated that'll be, in the sense that will they all be you know like that and like five others or something like that, different
I mean,
puzzles to go from. I mean, I know it can't be infinite, but I mean it might get boring knowing exactly what's going to happen. But I do
well,
like, yeah,
they could have an infinite number of different possible puzzles if they
yeah,
really wanted to.
mhm,
But no matter what puzzles are gonna be, um, as you say, there are probably not gonna be a lot of different types of puzzles.
yeah,
So the reason for that is just because Minecraft is a lot more aimed towards younger people,
yeah,
uh, which I mean are some of them are really good at puzzles, but most of them just aren't
yeah,
uh, that good or that into puzzles to begin with. So hitting
mhm,
them with puzzles all the time uh,
yeah,
wouldn't be the best idea. Um, but yeah, I'm really excited either way. It just seems like uh, something that's just fun to do every once in a while.
mhm,
Uh, but yeah, the main thing I'm concerned about is if all the features they're promising right now are gonna be in the game.
yeah,
And one of the points that you brought up earlier was that you'll be able to bring things to your home and be able to play there. So
Hmm.
that's actually a really good uh,
Yeah.
evolution of the Pokemon Go idea, because obviously Pokemon Go, uh, if you're not in a big city or something like that, you're basically out of luck. You can play it. Uh,
Yeah.
you'll almost have to go around by car to go to the Pokestops.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that's pretty much what happened. You know, because I played Pokemon Go for a little while, and
Yeah, me too.
I live in a really rural area, and from my house there's no Pokestops that can be seen. Zero, absolutely none.
Yeah,
So I'd have to actually drive into town and then play there, and you know that was fine for like you know some amount of time, and then it got to the point where um, you know, it's just there was no point in playing it anymore. So
yeah,
hopefully, what it looks like is that with Minecraft Earth, they're not really, um, they don't really seem to be so focused on going to certain areas. You know that you know Pokestops, they were never randomly generated in areas where you know you'd go and it'd just be oh this is just a empty field, you know. You collect the
mhm,
Pokestop, you actually had to go to something. So if you're living in the rural area, aforementioned, um, there wasn't really much to see, so therefore there wouldn't be that many Pokestops or gems. But what it looks like with Minecraft Earth, and I saw some stuff um, even before you know today, and seeing um, the Minecon, but you know, I saw features that were saying that even though the materials that you find is kind of like biome specific, so people that live in colder areas might find different types of blocks as someone that might live in warmer areas. And I think
oh,
that
that's
does
cool.
change seasonally. So like if it's warmer out, you might find, um, you know, I guess if it's warmer or whatever, you're near the beach, you might find more sand blocks as opposed to um, if you live like in the mountains or something like that, you might find you know, stone or snow or something like that. I don't know. This is just speculations of my own accord, so there isn't really much to go off of. But,
Yeah,
um, but hopefully, what we'll see is that you don't have to go really far to play the game. You don't have to go out of your way. You can just open it up and be like, oh, that, you know, I see something out there. Walk out of your house, you know, down the road a little bit, collect it, come on back, and then start building with whatever you find. So,
yeah,
um, I do like that aspect of it that you don't actually have to be in an extremely populated area in order to play at its full potential.
hmm
Um, even though I know Mojang, they had a couple of testing locations for um, their game, and it was in 6 cities, I believe. Um,
oh really? Nice.
yeah, I think there was only like one in the United States, which was Seattle, I want to say. But and then I think other ones were like Tokyo or something like that.
hmm
There's another one in China. There's another one in the in um, Europe. And I wasn't sure exactly where it was, and I think there was one in Australia. But um, you know, but mainly they were extremely populated areas. So, you know, maybe you might find more resources around populated areas, which is fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. Like
Yeah.
there'll be some advantage to living in a rural or in a populated area,
Hmm.
but it sounds like it won't be required.
Yeah. And
Although
that's
coming back to Pokemon Go, in Pokemon Go's defense, they did add a whole load of Pokestops over the last 2 years. I don't know if you've recently opened the app,
nah.
but back in the day, I could see exactly one Pokestop from my house. Right
Mhm.
now, it's I think 10 or so.
Yeah.
So, in Pokemon Go's defense, they are making steps towards improving the game,
Yeah.
uh, but they're far from finished, of course.
Yeah. So hopefully we can see Minecraft Earth finding these mistakes in Pokemon Go and you know fixing them in with Minecraft Earth. Um, you know, but we can only hope. I know I'm already pre-registered for it, so as soon as it drops publicly, I'll have it, and
Yeah, same.
maybe might even make a video explaining as far as how I liked it and whatnot. But
Yeah, I mean you can get a pretty easy recorder for your phone as well,
mhm,
if you want to do that.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, Minecraft Earth looks pretty cool.
yeah,
Uh, but I'll be honest, it wasn't my favorite thing.
mhm,
I'm really just mostly excited about the things that are actually coming to the game that I'm already playing.
yeah,
I usually get pretty skeptical of new games at first, and then I'll
yeah.
warm up
It's
to them once they're closer to release, once we know more features of them,
mhm,
and once I'm actually more confident in that what the company is doing is
yeah,
actually gonna be good. Because as we said, there's just some concerns with these kinds of games, which they just always make a couple of mistakes.
yeah. And it'll naturally have some mistakes, especially in the very beginning of.
I mean, yeah. I'm not saying that I expect nothing less than perfection from any new game that I buy.
Mhm,
Uh, I'm just saying that I'm worried, and if there's too many mistakes that I really disagree with, uh, that I then may decide it's not worth the effort, or
mhm,
it's not worth looking into anymore. All right, so I think we said enough about then.
yeah,
So we were talking about ages ago, like what your favorite thing uh, of the presentation was.
mm,
Uh, and as I briefly mentioned, my favorite thing was just uh, all of the things coming to Minecraft itself,
yeah,
to both the Java edition and the Bedrock edition. I mean, Bedrock edition is gonna have a ton more features that we're not getting, which also look quite cool.
yeah, like scripting
But I
and
mean,
whatnot.
some of it is things that we've had for ages.
Yeah, so
Uh, so yeah, uh,
and I know especially in certain I think it's added to one of the snapshots actually, as far as finally um, Bedrock or Java players being able to set their spawn during the daytime, so they won't need to wait till night. They just need to click on their bed, and that'll set their spawn. I'm really looking forward to that.
yeah, that's gonna be nice.
Mhm,
Uh, so yeah, as I said, my favorite new feature is honey blocks, but my favorite feature I think is the snowier snow actually. The more that I think about it, the more that I really, um, I mean, as I said, I'm not 100% sure about how we're gonna implement them into our mob farms or other different kinds of farms.
mm,
But it's just such a unique mechanic that
yeah, you
that
can't
it's
just
bound to be
overlook it.
useful somehow. Yeah, I mean, there's so many mechanics that just go overlooked for sometimes years, and then eventually someone will just do something with it, and
Hmm.
people discover that they're actually really useful.
Yeah, like I remember when slime blocks were added, everyone was like, "Oh, that's cool. I guess you can bounce on them and whatnot." And now we have flying machines, so we've seen where how something that we might see as very minuscule as far as content wise, we can see where that can
I mean,
actually bring us.
yeah, but the example that you bring up, slime blocks, that was actually a feature that wasn't added when slime blocks were first introduced, of course.
Mm,
A feature I that comes to mind earlier to me, or other, um, would be piston quasi connectivity, which isn't in Bedrock Edition.
mm,
Uh, but for years, people were struggling with it, trying to understand how it worked and stuff like that.
mm,
And then eventually came along a YouTuber, and he invented the fact that you can update or detect when a block updates. For years, people weren't able to do that, and well, people started being able to do that, and eventually Mojang just gave in and gave us absorber blocks instead.
Yeah.
Because it was just a bit, I don't know, not the most elegant solution to checking if a block is updated.
Yeah.
But yeah, in general, I'm just really excited. The 1.15 is starting to shape up like a really good update.
Yeah.
All the features look cool. Uh, there's like a ton of new features, so that's always cool.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited to play around with it, as always.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm excited to see what stems from uh the content that'll be released in 1.15. Especially with what's going on in the Nether and seeing how that's gonna work. I do feel that gold ore is gonna be a lot more valuable, and I know even though the Badlands lost the vote, they're gonna become a bit more important, especially when it comes to actually finding gold. So
Yeah, actually, the Badlands lost the vote, but uh, I really don't dislike the Badlands. They actually look pretty cool.
yeah,
As I said, in terms of blocks with new features, the cactus.
Mm.
We're not sure about the mechanics of the cactus yet, but it does look cool, and the way it grows looks cool.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I know with
what they confirmed in Minecon Earth, which
yeah,
they didn't really make clear in the video, is that the vultures don't actually steal loot, but they are just attracted to it.
yeah,
Which is kind of odd to me that they had it that obscure for the longest time.
yeah. So
I mean, as we've experienced through the ages, I mean, new blocks are always nice, but as soon as we get new blocks with actual new mechanics, that's when our creativity is at the max, you know.
mhm,
We do so much new things with actual new mechanics. So
yeah,
I'm really excited for all those things.
yeah. It'll be interesting to see where it goes.
So is there anything else you want to say? Because I think we've had most things discussed.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered everything that was in Minecon 2019.
Hmm. So yeah, guys, tell us what you guys are most excited about, and also, I don't know, just to rile the comments up a bit, tell us something that you absolutely hate, that you really, really disagree with, or uh,
Yeah.
something that you find baffling that they haven't done yet. Maybe you're really angry that they haven't done a cave update yet.
Well, that would be
Um,
everyone. I know.
that's everyone, of course.
Yeah, I know there was
Uh,
even there
let,
was
let,
even there was even
let's
someone that
talk
was.
about those vertical slabs for a second.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Mojang did come out and say that they aren't doing that, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I know. I'm just joking about it.
No, I know, but I mean, I don't, you
Um,
know, I'm kind of sad about the whole. I would have liked vertical slabs, or I would have liked combination slabs, like putting like a cobblestone slab on top of a wood slab or something like that. But
yeah, okay.
yeah,
It's whatever.
yeah,
Um, but anyways, if you guys have enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit it with a like, subscribe, check out Logan's perspective. If you're on Logan's video, check out my perspective. Link should be in the description. Stay hydrated, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.
all right.
You're not gonna say bye?
Oh, peace.